Hello, welcome to Fly Forward Vlog, episode 27, I think it is. This is my dear friend Holly.
Hello.
She went through Waking Up Gray last year, and I've invited her along we're doing a series on Waking Up Gray stories. And so Holly has been so gracious and kind to offer her story up. So we're going to hear from her tonight, and so this is Holly. So Holly, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to bump up into Waking Up Gray.
Yes. Well, I am married and I have 3 children. I own my own house cleaning business and I clean houses for my living. But I love to write, I love to create, I love crafts, love art journaling, all that type of stuff. But I bumped up into Waking Up Gray because I was at a silent retreat and
in Dixon at the Bethany Retreat
Yes.
House. Yes,
Very
I was
nice.
there too.
Yes. And so after we kind of all got done sharing, thankfully Jenny was like, I think you might really resonate with some material in this book, and if you want it, I would love to share it with you. And I immediately was like, yes, please. And I had been expressing that I really was feeling led to express myself in non-verbal ways without using words, really trying to tap into expressing myself through images or more creatively. And I really didn't have any structure around that, really even any ideas. I just was feeling led and my heart was being tugged. And so when Jenny kind of presented me with the book and the material, I was like, wow, this is right up my alley right now. So I said yes.
Yeah, and that was such a beautiful thing. Just to give you a little bit of a heads up, I don't push my book off on people. That is just something I don't normally do. But when I heard Holly's story and her process, it was so much about what Waking Up Gray is that I went ahead and approached her with it, and then it went from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so great.
Great.
So that's how you heard about Waking Up Gray. Can you describe what it was that resonated with you when you heard about the process? I'm sure it was probably a very mysterious thing that I came to you and said,
Right.
here's this.
Yeah, because that doesn't happen. That's never happened before in my life, where someone,
neither.
right, where somebody gives me, a book and at first meeting, and then it's like, not only do I want to pass this material to you, but there's a group you can join if you want to wrap community around this. And that was like another heart cry of really wanting to connect with more people who I felt along similar paths as me. And so not only did it resonate of like the creative artistic side of me wanting to come out, but then also wrapping community around it. And so that's when I was like, well, this is definitely a sign that this is for my path.
So what was your process like? So just to let you know, that relationship began that way, and Holly showed up in my home last year, and I offered a 9-month Waking Up Gray group in my home. And so tell us a little bit about what your experience was like this past year
in the group.
In Waking Up Gray.
It was very refreshing. It was very enlightening. It was very life-giving. It felt like my Thursday mornings were kind of like my oxygen mask every week of like, oh, I know I'm going to get to come here. I'm going to get to be refreshed. Jenny was always so sweet to serve like coffee or a few little nibbles for us to nibble on while we ate breakfast together. But it was very much an intentional way of slowing down and reconnecting with what's going on within, and then listening as other people shared where they were. It just felt deeply spiritual, but not necessarily your normal, spiritual experience,
Right.
Or exercises.
Like, I know when I was in process, I felt like I would look to the church and like, I don't want to do the next Bible study.
Yeah.
Like, that just feels like it's not going to be life-giving. I don't want to do that. So what is offered is just a little bit different. Did you feel like that? Because we did every we would do maybe a chapter, and then the next week we might do some creative project or some silent time.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different than what your church might offer in terms of Bible study.
Bible study. Yeah, it felt a lot more free. It felt like instead of being on this structured path of fill in the blank question and answer type material, it felt like an open field of exploration and discovery and really learning how to turn within and listen within, and a huge support system to do that. Where I felt like within Bible study, it's like, let's regurgitate and everybody needs to give the same answer. Here, it seems very celebrated to find your own answer, and that is the path that, is for you. It felt very individual, and it felt very freeing, but yet deeply spiritually connected.
Yeah. So I describe the process it's very solitary in terms of every week you're asked to do different journaling exercises and different tasks, and so it is a bit thick with homework, if you want to call it homework, or exploratory discoveries. So what I describe in terms of the group, so what's the purpose of the group if you're just doing all of this on your own during the week? Well, it's more of a celebration of what your work has looked like in the week. So it's very solitary in terms of the work, and then when you come together, you're not, like what you said earlier, you're not regurgitating answers and everyone has to come up with the same conclusion. It's more, here's what my process was like during the week. This is where I found Jesus. This is where he found me. This is where I found freedom, whether it's creativity or just a spiritual epiphany or an experiencing God in different ways than I normally have.
Yeah.
Here's what my experience has been. Will you support me and celebrate with me?
Right.
Did it feel like that?
Absolutely. It was a huge reminder that you're not alone in this process, and I think for me personally, coming from more of that structured background, you almost feel the need to be with others, of like, I need that validation that where I'm exploring, I'm not the only one exploring, where I'm finding new revelations, new ways to meet with Jesus, new ways to hear from him, new ways to even find myself or explore my own self. I'm not the only one doing that. And so it was hugely validating for me. And at the same time, it just felt like a celebration. It felt very supportive of everybody's individual journey and path. And it was a beautiful, safe place.
So for someone considering Waking Up Gray or considering any genesis of awakening, like think about someone who's in a place where all the structures that we put in place, marriage, church, work, career, all the structures that we put in place, we come to a place in our lives where it feels like it's not working anymore, and all these structures break down. My marriage is falling apart, my friends are not coming through, my church isn't coming through. So for someone in this space, Holly, how would you encourage them? Like, what do you feel like was your sort of Genesis moment in realizing that it was okay for you to be creative, okay for you to explore spiritually, and it wasn't gonna make the world end?
Right. Number one, I would say just be kind and gentle with yourself and understand that the reason it's called a process is because it's a process. It's not an end result. And I think so many times when you're coming out of those structured patterns within your brain, within your life, within your situations, it's a very structured, this is the goal, this is the end result, this is what I want to happen. Mm-hmm. And with the genesis of awakening, whether it's in Waking Up Gray or in leaving other structured parts of your life, I think it's a slow and steady unraveling and deep acceptance of learning how to listen to yourself. And I would also encourage you to reach out for support and help if you don't know a lot of people who seem to be going through the same things as you are. You know, whether it's a book, whether it's a resource, whether it's a podcast, or hopefully, you know, you're blessed enough to find another human. And I really do believe that as your heart cries out for what you need, you will receive what you need. The way that Jenny was placed in my life, the way that Waking Up Gray was placed in my life, the way that all the resources and people along my awakening journeys have been placed, just to trust that your answers will come and your needs will come.
So, if this is a place that you are feeling drawn to reach out, Holly and I will be doing a Waking Up Gray group this fall in my home here where we're sitting. We're in my studio, by the way, at my house. We are doing a Waking Up Gray group on Tuesday nights. Tuesday night and Thursday mornings. So if a night works better for you, Tuesday night. If a day works better for you, Thursday morning. Please visit my website at flyforward.org. Click on the What We Do, and there will be a tab that you can click on that says Services. And click on that, and you will find a Waking Up Gray group, and you can register to be a part of our precious time together. We would love to see you there. And if you have any questions, please go to flyforward.org. Click on the contact page, contact me. I can get you in touch with Holly too if you have more questions for her. Thank you so much, Holly, for being here. And it's going to be a great year together, and look forward to seeing you all. Bye. Bye. Whoa, I didn't stop.